Did you know that women were not allowed to have their own bank account until a law was passed in 1974?
74?
Yeah.
70s.
If men want to be in the workplace when the child is born, men need to be the ones petitioning for
No, but
that.
you've
Hold on, wait
said,
there. And women can back them in that.
You got the maternity leave, but then you didn't think of paternity leave after.
Hold on.
You left it at maternity
Okay.
leave and then probably would have moved on.
Do you know what you sound like to me?
Go on.
I'm going to say something really controversial.
Go on.
You sound like, you know when they say Black Lives Matter, you sound like all lives matter. Hello and welcome to the W Lounge podcast, where we talk everything from relationship, well-being and community. Today I'm joined with
Bree.
And Chrissy.
And I'm RiRi, and today we have got a very interesting, controversial topic.
Yes.
And I'm not going to delay. Yes. The title of today's show is Should Men Be Feminists? Okay.
Woo, child.
So, I'm going to start off with asking you both, would you consider yourself a feminist? Bree, take it away.
50-50. Yeah.
50-50. That was a
I know that sounds crazy.
Very quick response.
I know, but I just feel like I'm 50-50 because I believe in the feminist movement to allow us to work and be independent and things like that. But I'd be coming from a place of wanting security because I know that men can also let us down. And with how things are going at the moment, yes, I would definitely be feminist in that regard. But then I also see there's some negatives to being a feminist as well, like a complete devoured feminist, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which I just wouldn't really classify because I'm an independent, want a man to look after me woman.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I don't know. It's trying to balance the two, but yeah, 50-50.
Independent versus traditional.
Yeah, I'm both. Yeah, I'm a cocktail.
Okay.
I like that. I am not
Chrissy.
a feminist.
I am not a
Well,
feminist.
yeah.
However, okay, when we actually think about what the feminist movement was aiming to do, and that was to bring equality to the genders.
Yeah.
I'm all for gender equality.
Fantastic.
Yes, but I wouldn't class myself as a feminist, no.
At all. Okay, that's
Yes.
absolutely fine. Thank you for sharing that, ladies. I do have a fun fact that I want to share with you.
Yes.
Did you know that women were not allowed to have their own bank account until a law was passed in 1974?
74?
Yeah.
70s.
That is wild. That's
Yeah.
literally like last night.
Yeah.
What?
So, yeah, that was really recent. That definitely shocked me and surprised me. I mean, I've known that for a while, but that was probably
wild,
one
you
of
know.
the...
Yeah, that's not okay.
So what was we doing? What, like, not
So,
what?
prior
What
to...
were our parents doing?
Putting money under our pillows or something?
No,
It'd been our
it
parents
was
like that,
joint.
isn't it?
No, you had to have a joint
okay.
account with your father or your husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A man had to be involved. You couldn't even sign your own contracts without a man.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a talk about what feminism is and what it means, and pretty much touching on what you said, Christina.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but in a nutshell, it's a range of socio-political movements and ideologies that aim to define the equality of the sexes, and feminism holds a position that societies prioritise the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. So there's a lot of effort going in to change that. So that's pretty much the backdrop of what the movement is all about. So you've all said you would or wouldn't consider yourself a feminist. If at all, how has gender inequality affected you, if at all?
Do you know, for me, I do sometimes feel it at work. And when I worked in sales for many years, because it was quite a male-orientated environment at the time when I was growing up, it was a struggle a little bit. And I could tell that it was like, oh, she's just female, she doesn't really know much, or... You know, oh, I can do this because I'm male. Oh, I can talk to the male client. Like, you know, It was that kind of attitude that I would get a lot. But I was getting sales. So
Yeah.
I felt that, there was a bit of a threat there, of course.
Yeah.
They weren't really used to having a woman that could also close deals.
Was it getting overlooked, or were you being celebrated for that eventually?
Both. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I would get celebrated by, the management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, my colleagues, my peers or whatever, they wouldn't really be that,
Supportive.
Not really. And sometimes it would be quite competitive, but like underlying competitiveness.
Yeah.
But I can tell,
Yeah.
So, I would say that gender inequality, it didn't affect me too much because I didn't allow it to.
Yeah.
But should I be not weak-minded? I don't want to use that as a phrase, but should I be less strong of a woman, let's say, in that regard? Yeah, it would be a difficult task because you'd always be questioning yourself, like, are you good enough? And things like that. But I never did. I was like, well, hold on, I'm making sales too. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
maybe that's come from my mum. She's quite fierce in that respect. But should I have not had that kind of upbringing? I don't know how I'd feel.
It might have gone a different way.
Exactly.
How about yourself, Christina? How do you feel like female of gender inequalities affected you in any way?
Not that I've noticed.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Do you think it affects women, other women?
Yes, I do. I do believe it does in certain environments. So in the corporate environment, I can imagine there is a bit of a struggle.
Okay.
Definitely.
So let's get to the crux of the question. Should men also be feminists? And how can men support the ideology of equality? And why should they, if they should? Christina, should they be supporting it?
Should men be feminists? That would be down to the man. Should should men aim for gender equality when it comes to the workplace and politics and socioeconomic balancing? Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but-
should.
I agree.
But where we're talking about, when we talk about feminism, we're talking about the inequalities, particularly against women. Is that a fight that men should be fighting too? Should they be more
they should be.
proactive in that?
But okay, so
think so, yeah.
we need to address that we're living in a patriarchal society anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so men are the ones running the show, right?
Right.
So if you have this feminist group here, banded by women, okay, and a couple of men. If it was a thing where men believed they needed to be feminists, the system would change anyway. So it wouldn't be a thing where feminists would even need to exist because the men would now be like, okay, cool. We see the inequality that's happening here. We're going to change it because essentially it's going to benefit them as well.
Okay, but
Let's be honest. If a man, how would being a feminist as a man benefit the man?
well, isn't that already inherently the problem? It's almost
Then
like
let's talk
saying
about that then,
why,
isn't it?
and that goes for any inequality, surely. So there is racial inequality. Does that mean that, let's say, white males who are seen as the privileged group in society don't need to be active in the fight against racial injustice that black people experience?
100%.
How is it ever going to change if those who are in an influential position are not a part of the fight?
But is it exclusionary? So one thing I have noticed about the feminist movement, it divides off. You have a lot of different divisions in the feminist movement.
Yeah.
And some of it does come across as exclusionary. Okay, so with regards to liberal feminism, they spoke more about maternity leave. Was it liberal feminism? I believe, yeah. They spoke more about maternity leave, whereas where's paternity leave? Why shouldn't a man take time off?
No, maternity leave has come about.
No. But that was because of a different sect of feminism. Do you understand? So you had feminism that said, okay, we're now in the workplace. Women are now in the workplace, okay? However, in the second wave of feminism, 60s, you had, for one, you had women-only ads, men-only ads. Women were told in those ads, you need not apply.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Now, when they were given jobs, as soon as they fell pregnant, they risked being sacked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Immediately. So they had to keep it under wraps.
Exactly, okay?
Yeah.
So then obviously we progressed. Yeah? Then the feminists fought for maternity leave, right? Okay,
Yeah.
which was fantastic, and we got maternity leave, which is really good for some companies.
really good.
Shout out to
Really
those good companies. But where was the paternity leave, gang?
But okay, I understand that, and that is
No, but this is where I would say I stand by the whole gender equality for myself. Like, I don't want to say I align to a group which could, that's only a sect of the feminist group, by the way, okay? Because you've also got conservative feminism, you've got cultural feminism, you've got the neo-feminism. Like, you have different waves as well of feminism that are rolling out. Even when it comes to like the trans stuff, it gets deep, right? So that's why I always align myself with the gender equality, right? And I can't say, because the feminism movement did so much for this, men are now going to align themselves with that movement and exclude themselves when this wasn't their aim. This wasn't something that they would have thought about and then excluding themselves from.
But if men are not a part of it, then they've got no way of shaping the narrative of where it goes.
But at this point, why are you excluding your ally? You as a feminist, now you're excluding your ally.
What ally?
The man, the patriarchy. Who is going to be your ally, essentially.
No, but he's not the ally. That's what I'm saying. He's not.
No, but this is what I'm saying. So you're saying that this is why men should, right? And
to become an ally.
Exactly. But if you're creating a system or a movement that's excluding men, why would they want to be a part of it?
Yeah.
Okay, I totally understand.
Do you see that now? Yeah, I've come full circle with that one.
The reason why I say I don't think they're excluding men, is because men have not been a part of it. So it's almost like saying, if you don't vote, then you're being excluded from political, the political direction. You didn't vote. You don't have a say. You're not involved. You've got to be in it to be a part of it, to actually shape the trajectory of the movement.
But if there's a system or the movement that doesn't want to include you, why would I want to join?
Says who that doesn't want to include you?
It was a different sect of feminism that petitioned for paternity leave. You know that wasn't a thing, right?
Hold on a minute. Okay.
So that wasn't a thing, right?
That whole paternity thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The paternity leave, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes to inequalities, the group who is experiencing that inequality, I would expect to be at the forefront of the movement
100%.
that would
100%.
Change the trajectory. So if men want to be in the workplace when the child is born, men need to be the ones petitioning for that.
But you've
Hold on,
you
wait
said...
there. And women can back them in that argument, or they can back them in that. But you cannot expect women to fight the fight for all gender equality. Hello, I don't get that.
But that's the fundamentals of feminism.
What is? No, I'm saying you can't...
Gender equality is literally the backbone of feminism.
Yeah, but it says no, but gender equality, particularly, the whole point is that they have an ideology whereby women are particularly at a disadvantage.
But they achieved that, though. You got the maternity leave, but then you didn't think of paternity leave after.
Hold on.
You left it at maternity leave and then probably would have moved on.
Do you know what you sound like to me?
Go on.
I'm going to say something really controversial.
Go on.
You sound like, when they say Black Lives Matter, you sound like all lives matter.
No, but I think you're missing the point. This is not about all lives matter. This isn't all lives matter.
Though.
I'm not
You're
taking
saying
away.
All genders matter.
I'm not taking away, from what feminism has achieved.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that away.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need everybody to realise there's different sects of feminism that all have their own agendas, all have their own political agendas. Okay. And I'm just literally calling out a particular group. That is all. I've benefited from feminism, okay? And I am a woman. I recognise that, okay?
Yeah.
However, if, Serena, I know you've done your research. If you really look into it, us as Black women, we are also excluded from this feminist movement as well.
And I want to address that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say from your statement saying that people go around saying, Black Lives Matter and I'm the All Lives Matter. I disagree with that. I can't. No.
Okay.
It's not.
And I want to. Yeah. I want to pause there, and I just want to get Brenda's input on this.
Because B's just like,
So I just want to get your input in this, in terms of should men be a part of the feminist movement? And bearing in mind, I'm looking at feminists with bare bones. What it means is basically to acknowledge and address the inequalities against women in this patriarchal society. The fact that you even acknowledge that it's patriarchal, to me, that is inherently the issue.
Yeah, of course. I definitely believe that it needs to be there. It needs to be present with men. They do need to take the initiative and, take the control, because, sometimes it is hard for us females to speak on certain topics or even fight for certain justices and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of the world that we're living in. So, I think as a male, just support. I don't think it's rocket science, but as Christina was saying, if it goes against their own agenda to, the male, their agenda to not support because it benefits them, then it's like, where are we? But I do believe that men do need to. If long short of it, like, I think men should be more supportive in feminism. Yeah, that affects females, women.
Okay, so my next question is, has feminism reached its end goal? Do you feel that there's more to do? It's achieved a lot. You've acknowledged the achievements of the feminism movement. We now have laws that can stop companies from paying our male counterparts more than us. So that laws don't necessarily stop the bias, but now we have laws. We're able to have our own bank accounts. We're able to buy beers. That was another thing that we couldn't do until the 80s. We wasn't allowed to buy alcohol without a man. So we're able to do all these things. Now, what fight do we have left? Is there still a fight to fight?
There is, in my opinion.
Oh, go on, go on.
And we're in England, yeah?
Yeah.
So essentially we can only really talk about England. Like, let's get it right. And maybe a bit of America. But there are a lot of countries out there that literally don't even know what feminism is, because they don't want to support women in that regard. They don't want to support them. Women don't really have much say. Yeah. And it still goes on till today. So for me, I don't think that the movement is quite reached its peak yet. It's done a lot, of course, and I think it's got us to where we are today, and it has also introduced different sectors of feminism.
Oh, yeah, there's loads.
Loads. It's introduced
loads.
It's become a trend. But then what I worry about personally is that I don't want it to go into this almost like a circus. Yeah, it's not being taken
If I'm being
serious.
honest, feminism is becoming a circus, and I'll say that hands down, and I'll back it.
Yeah.
With, if you wanted me to go into it, hands down.
Yeah.
So this is why.
That's
talk to me. What 2 years ago, 3 years ago? My name is Chrissy. I'm a feminist.
Yeah.
Now I can't say that because it's taking a left turn, and I don't understand.
But then, because there's different sectors, in my opinion, I can represent this sector. That's it. Like, that's the only sector I'm going to be representing.
No, but then another feminist will fight you. Another feminist will fight you.
And that's absolutely fine.
And then is that what we should be doing as the feminist movement? We can't encourage that now.
No, that's what I'm saying. And I feel like that's why I feel like we've not even got to that stage yet. Because essentially, in the ideal world, the whole world has the same law that women can do the same as men. Yeah, and have the same rights as men. And
by the way, we can't do exactly the same thing as men.
What I mean is, if I'm going to work, I'm getting paid the exact same amount.
We're doing the same job, like for like.
Yeah,
not comparing apples and pears, but
stuff like that. Yeah. Naturally, obviously, biologically, we have very different ways of living and how we're going to be, operating through life. But just generally speaking, when it comes to we work together. You're male, I'm female. We should be getting paid exactly the same. We're still a long way away from that. And I think that, again, off the back of that, having this circus soleil that's going on at the moment, I feel like there needs to be more control, and people need to bring it back to the real reason why feminism started in the first place.
I agree.
It a few steps
back. I agree.
Understand, and then...
What is the common goal? Because now,
what is the common goal?
there isn't unity.
We have to remember.
There isn't unity.
I agree. I totally agree. But we're going to have to remember that feminism, they're not a political party. Yeah,
no, but it has political motives. It has political motives, okay?
It does.
And you read it out to us in the beginning.
Yes, it does have political, but they're not a political party. So what I'm saying, there is no obligation for them to all think and represent the same thing. The only thing that they have in common... is literally that they believe that gender inequality has got a bias towards men. Or bias against women or towards men. So that's all that you have to believe. It's almost like being a Christian. All you have to believe is that Jesus died for our sins. The rest is up down to interpretation, it seems, because there's so much different fragments of religion, but we accept that. There's so much different fragments within the party that you serve. You've got the backbenchers. And I really believe that with the feminist movement, the backbenchers, we have allowed them to have the loudest seat, but they literally are the backbenchers. And I think it's quite...
Totally agree, yeah.
I also think it's quite convenient for people to use that as a reason to not back them because of the backbenchers that are having this loud voice. But for the majority of what it represents, it's doing the right thing. It is making changes. It's starting the conversations that we need to have to change the trajectory for the next generations of females.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
then I think that women as well should be more responsible then, if that's the case, you know. I get that men should also be a part of this movement and encourage it, especially men that have daughters, like, seriously, like, let's get it right.
Even to my next question, actually.
Let's get it right. But, you know, I feel like with women, okay, now I understand what the situation is. It's my duty as a woman to openly say to people, like, I think this should be better, or like push that movement and encourage people instead of just sitting back and thinking, oh, well, everybody's taken over, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's where I feel like, hold on a minute, this movement was for us, literally, it was for us, so that we can have the freedom and have the same equality as anybody else.
Yeah. And
now you're sitting down and just taking whatever. No, that's not really...
Do you think all women should be feminists?
To a degree, but I think that there's a level though. I think that, to a degree, because I think that there's a level. That's why I said that I'm 50-50, because I think don't take things to an extreme. That's what I don't really agree with. It's when you start getting more extreme about your movement, and it's like, why do you need to do that?
Okay, so let me pause you right there, yeah? Serena, so this goes back to the initial question that Oli B answered about, do you think there's more to come? Or do you think there's more that needs to be done?
Yeah.
I'll need more information, but I believe there is more to be done. Okay, but I feel that there isn't one direction the feminist movement is going in.
I agree.
So that's where I now take issue.
But I find that something that is so big.
That's why I take issue. But it shouldn't be detrimental, and I feel like that's the avenue we're going down. Like, I feel like,
but I think we're allowing it to be detrimental.
No, but because of us women, us women are allowing it to be detrimental.
We are allowing the backbenchers.
Who are these backbenchers though?
Just people that have got the loudest voice, who haven't had any, or people who say, "Oh, I'm offended when." By trivial things like a man opening the door for me. It's just an opinion. With all the due respect, that's not going to be something that's going to be written in any policy or any law. It's just.
But that was a wave of feminism, you know that, right?
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah,
yes,
that was
I know
a whole wave.
But it's not having any impact.
Boss chick, independent woman. Do you remember? What's it, Destiny's Child?
Yeah, that's true.
Independent woman.
They
were all. It was a whole thing. Like,
but there's positives and negatives to be taken, and I think it's like it has to go too far for it to be somewhere in the middle. Eventually, it has to. But we need to have the conversation. So if nothing else, although it might be too extreme, or it might not have been the best way to express what female... I think we're still trying to work it out ourselves. What is female empowerment? I mean, this is a concept that is in the evolution of women, Westernized women in particular. It's something that's a bit foreign. And to be honest with you, if you look back into history, as I did a little bit of research, I noticed, even if we look at the Western lineage, if you like, going back from Egypt, when I say Western, because it was from Egypt that we've got the trajectory of our society today in the Western world.
Civilization,
we had a lot more liberty. It's like we went backwards to go forward, went backwards and forward. So there could be something innately within us that just didn't feel this was right. Because when I think about it, if you look back, even back as Egyptian times, they had far more liberties. They were able to acquire
and
property.
The queens were more in control.
There was a lot more control. There was a little bit more of an even playing field. It doesn't. The laws were there, but there were sometimes it wasn't always exercised because there was also a culture. So it still would be frowned upon, but there were still laws there to enable women to do certain things. And I thought, then we kind of got to after the Greeks really started to take over, then it kind of it started to go backwards from there, and then even further backwards. So I feel like all we're doing now, really is just trying to get back the even footing that we had.
Do you think the feminists are going too far with it though?
I think they are. Okay, I think they are.
I've got some things in mind, but I just want to hear your view.
Are they going too far with it? There's going to be some fractions of the feminist movement that I really don't have any interest in. I think it's maybe a little bit too petty. It's not really something I'm interested in, and that goes for a lot of. Even Black Lives Matter or pro-black movements, I've got no interest if a white girl wears braids. I'm not interested in that. But whereas others will go for her and make it into a political thing, and that was truly offending them. That to me is petty. I've got no interest in that. So there's loads of things that ideology that I agree with, but I do not agree with every single fragment of it, and that's fine. I don't need to.
So a man joining a feminist movement, would he be okay not agreeing with every single aspect of the feminist movement?
Of course, we need him to be a part of it.
Or would he have to be compliant with all the factions of feminism?
Not. A man doesn't have to be, nor does a woman have to be. No one has to be. Even the political party that you vote for, you do not have to agree with every single policy that they put forward. That's not what we're. That's not the expectation. But it's just the fundamental ideology behind what they're trying to achieve. You can somehow relate to that. But if men are not a part of the conversation, then how can they shape the trajectory of where this feminist movement is going?
So do you need men to be a part of it to shape the trajectory?
Yes, because it's a patriarchal world, which you just said. So
it needs to be balanced out.
But these women that was forming these from first wave, whatever,
Well, like suffragettes.
Yeah, well, it goes before then, actually. It goes way before then. And because it wasn't just the right to vote, there was so much more than that.
There was so much.
So much more to that.
Definitely.
I don't believe they had any male people in their corner, because people died. Women were dying during that first wave movement.
And then I wonder who opened up the door, though. I wonder who opened up the door for them. Surely it must have been a male.
I think it was
because
women,
in that time
it was women
frame,
moving mad. I think it was just
women
women
moving mad. There would have been a male there to have just creeped the door open.
Yes, because the woman was moving mad enough.
I didn't do this.
Come on, when we move mad enough, men move. Facts.
They can do.
That's all it was. So they united so strongly that men had no choice but
I agree with that, but I think that is a very uncivilized way
100%
of moving forward. And look, the only true way we can get mad.
Mad. Back then, you need to move mad.
Still up to today.
I don't think that's the civilized way to do this. And in order for it to not be
Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there was men in their camp. Don't get me wrong, they probably were. They probably were.
But even women, like some fractions of it, you're saying you don't like the feminist movement. There was a lot of women who were disgusted that these suffragettes were trying to get
of course. 100%.
More women
100%.
were against it than,
as much
women as men. So
100%.
They were not just against men, they were also against women who had been so indoctrinated to believe that this was okay.
That's it.
However, what I would like to ask you
is
how has the feminist movement improved your life? And what are the disadvantages? Start wherever you want. Disadvantages, the advantages. What is the disadvantages of the feminist movement?
Disadvantages. The whole, everything's equal now. You can pay if we go out, or you can take me to Cuba for bells and whistles and coffee. Yeah. So I think that's where it's for real in Cuba. And I think for me that more so because I feel that men have taken it and shaped it into something it's not. So I think that's where for me I've seen the downside of feminism. Where it's like, oh no, like, why do I need to do anything for you? Like, you're Miss Independent. You've got this. You're doing that for yourself. You work. You earn your money. You could pay for dinners out. I'm like, It's interesting to have these conversations with the men and hear it. You know, and this is just like friends speaking on it, and even having male friends who are like, I don't even know on like first dates whether or not I go half. Or whether or not I pay the full bill because I don't want to offend her. I don't want to, come across a certain way or encroach on her liberties. And I'm just like, wow, it's not that deep.
It's become a very complex space now.
And I feel like men are tiptoeing as well now. They don't even know how to navigate it as well. Like they're kind of taking it as whatever woman they're in front of. And then they kind of, well, those are my friends.
Play it by ear.
They play by ear, yeah, exactly. And then I have like my really traditional like guy friends that will be like, oh, nah, Chris, like I'll take them out on a first date. I'm not trying to have it, like she's not paying. Like I know how I turn up for my women. I know how I look after them. I'm just like, that's really lovely. I'm just like, but make sure you are dating a woman
That
of a
appreciates
similar
that.
mind.
Yeah,
exactly.
a mindset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah,
I
that's
wonder if that
my
should be a
take on
question
it.
then.
That's my take on
Should
it.
men be asking women their views on feminism before they like?
Before the
A badge.
yeah.
Feminist.
But you can't, because again,
I know, it's
feminism
crazy.
itself is not enough.
crazy.
Like,
No, it's
what
not
type
enough.
of feminist?
What feminist? Yeah, what type of feminist are you? Yeah, because even like the big boy player feminists in the scene right now,
Yeah.
won't even claim it completely. Because you will have the conservative feminists, and then you'll have the liberal feminists, then you'll have the cultural feminists, and then you'll have just the gender equality gang like me.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Gender equality.
I'm all lives matter apparently. So
all genders matter.
sorry, all genders matter. All
Yeah.
genders matter.
Yeah.
Gang. So yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe this is. But then on a date, are you really talking political agendas? Are you really talking political views?
No,
Is it
This
political? Is it
100%.
No, in a sense of should we?
but not at the beginning. Though.
We kind of
Very
need to know. It's more about whether you're traditional. I think now, would you say feminism that comes into the modern day woman? That means you're less traditional.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Right, you're
There's no
gender.
way you can
feel
be.
like-
Okay, go on.
So I was just,
Go on.
I feel like feminism, the negative for me is that it's taking away traditional aspects of like dating, lifestyle, all of that kind of stuff. And coming from a background and I would say a desire to have a traditional kind of lifestyle, this is very off-putting.
Yes.
This is very
so
off-putting.
men find feminist women off-putting.
I think that they may do, like, don't get me wrong, because I've actually dated a man that was a feminist.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Wonderful.
And you know, we dated for a long time, so it wasn't like I'm going to judge him on this or anything like that. But I did feel at times like, okay, I get that you're a feminist, but don't forget that I'm a traditionalist.
As
and
well.
you met me as a traditionalist.
Yeah.
You didn't meet me as that feminist. So let's meet like either halfway, or you're on board with what I want, or our exit stage.
Talk to me. Sorry, I'm dying. I'm dying to know. Talk to me. What is a feminist man? What does he do? How do you? How would you even? Does he identify as feminist?
Well, now I know what it looks like.
Oh, right.
Oh, did he identify as one? So did he say, I am a feminist?
He say, I'm a feminist.
Okay.
All the time. Like,
do you think that was used as an excuse, as almost like a crutch or something else now?
Did he? How
for
did
his
he
misbehaviour? For his
this
misbehaviour?
This is the thing, This is the thing. So me being traditional...
You see, I didn't even know he misbehaved, but whatever.
Right. So this for me, and, you know, lovely guy, so don't hurt me after this. But I'm just saying, like, I think with him, he would present this traditional guy, with sort of feminine thought processes or whatever, and his lifestyle was kind of like that. There was a day we went out shopping and I bought the stuff.
Food shopping.
It was like that, like that kind of thing, because we were going to cook, right?
Okay.
So I was like, oh, don't worry, I'll get this.
Yeah.
But you're good. I act like I don't even have a purse. I don't even act like I have a bag sometimes.
No, but I know what you mean, but we'd already been on a few dates.
Yeah, you've been established,
This was like a regular, regular day.
Yeah.
Nothing, special. We weren't even dressed, nothing, right?
Just a
gone to the
shop.
corner shop. Yeah, literally. Corner shop, right?
Yeah, I don't take my purse.
So
we're going to
Apple Pay's not working.
So he was in shock that I would do that.
Okay.
And it was like such a nice surprise to him that because I was so traditional, and I am.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, what a surprise! I didn't expect that sort of thing. And I said to him, like, yes, just because I am traditional doesn't mean that I can't also give. I'm also willing to give a little bit here and there, but I also want to steer more towards the traditional side of things.
Yeah.
But then whenever sometimes you would creep into this feminist movement sort of attitude, it would put me off.
Really?
What put you off, though?
What kind of behaviours?
It would, like, if we ever got into the conversation about us, not us in particular, but women that would go on a date or you go on a date, sorry, and then the woman doesn't bring out their purse or whatever. I'm not really into that.
Oh, what? So he didn't like that?
Yeah, he does not like that.
But how does that make him a feminist?
Because he would say that we should be equal and that we should be able to...
I don't think he qualified.
No, he didn't. That's what I said. It was misbehaviour. He was using that word to misbehave. 100%.
No, I don't think he's a feminist.
To pick and choose how he was going to show up.
Now, a feminist is when you're in support of female inequality. So you have concerns about you.
But that's what I'm saying. He would talk about things like that as well.
Like what?
Like the fact that we wouldn't have the same pay in certain jobs. Like
Forget
he's a
about the
banker.
pay.
Forget about that, man.
I mean,
bigger than that.
It's an example, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So that it kind of put me off a little bit because it was like, okay, well, I'm a traditionalist. You can keep screaming about being a feminist, but I don't want that.
Why did his understanding, and that's the thing, men, I feel like your understanding of feminism does not go over and beyond finances. That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't
this is
seem
the
to
thing.
understand
Was it
that.
just about finance?
It's not. It isn't. It's
No, I mean
still-
for-
Yes, for you. Yeah, for your 100%.
This guy,
100%.
yeah.
Yes,
about
it was.
finance?
It was.
Yes, it
'Cause
was.
he talking about the
Right.
fact that women are more likely to experience domestic violence? Was that a concern?
Yeah,
of him?
exactly.
Was he concerned that women are more likely to be sexually harassed, or they're more likely
Exactly.
to be harassed in the street, or
Yeah,
etc.
that's what I'm saying.
The Sarah Everards of the world.
Exactly.
Right. And this is gradually what you know later on after.
Was he interested in
after
that?
you realise?
Was he interested in that?
I don't know. Well, this is the thing. I don't know because we didn't,
Doesn't sound
we didn't
like
delve
it.
into that. That's what I'm saying.
There's
So I
only
think
one
it
aspect he had a
might have
concern
been
with.
more
Yeah, exactly.
financial.
Has this been quite the revelation?
Yeah. It must have been more.
Where he at?
financial.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? Who cares?
See you.
Plain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like that, you know, and I think lovely guy, you know, someone that I can say I respect and stuff, but it's just right, what was your real agenda? You know, like what was
Yeah.
the real reason why you would come up with this feminist thing? And is it like is it a trend? Is it a trend? Are guys doing this?
I feel like that's a
Put
bit
it in
of
the
an
comments,
attack.
guys. Are guys actually doing this? Like,
I think
for real?
it's yeah.
Is this a thing?
Is it? I think.
What, to get girls?
To be honest with you,
Yeah, it's
no,
like
no,
to keep them or to like kind of, I don't know, to kind of.
This is extreme sport, you know.
not to get girls,
I'm a feminist
but
to get girls.
avoid their traditional roles.
Yes.
I love
In
that.
the name of
I love that. I love
Under
it.
the umbrella.
On the umbrella of yeah. I like
This is
it.
the thing that
We've
you
got
guys
to it.
do.
We've got to it. Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
That's
Guys,
not
be honest
cool.
with us.
Do you do
Yeah.
that?
Men, are you doing that?
For real.
It's not cool.
Add in the comments if you're brave enough.
Yeah.
It's real.
Not cool.
But it's
not
true.
cool.
That's
and
what's
it's like an
happening at the
opportunity
moment.
to throw it in their face. Oh, I'm not paying because you know
I believe
I'm a
in
feminist.
equality.
Okay,
Yeah.
well to me, how does so understanding what with the understanding that we have at the moment of what inequality looks like and some of the things like the real risk factors of being a woman, like the fact that you're more likely to experience domestic violence, like the fact that you're more likely to be sexually assaulted. You're more likely to experience that in the workplace, just out in the street. Your safety is an issue.
Safety is an issue.
So, really and truly, can you be an effective father, husband, partner if there's not an aspect of you that stands for
Women's rights.
women's rights?
I don't think so. I think you'd have to have an aspect of that, especially if you have daughters.
But then, do you have to be a feminist though?
Well,
No.
that's why we say women's
see it,
rights.
yeah.
Let's rephrase it. Women's rights.
Do you know what? For me personally, I feel like this whole feminist movement is just about women, in my opinion, saying that we are equal. We're both human beings.
Yeah.
It's as simple.
Yeah, it's
like
that
to me, it
recognition.
just goes down
Yeah.
to the crux
Yeah.
of the fact that I'm also human.
We are human,
so I
yeah.
shouldn't be getting any different.
We
type
are
of
our own
treatment.
entities.
But-
Yeah, our own
Yeah.
entity.
I hear that.
But we are human.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But I feel like the word feminism has been bastardized. So if we
100%.
say,
It has.
but when we say rights as well, that's another thing that triggers guys. Well, what rights do you need? You've got all the rights. What rights are you looking for? But some of the rights are
Some
more.
rights were taken away.
It's more social. It's a social thing. It might not be as bold as something that needs to be written into legislation, but the right to wear what you want to wear and not be sexualized. The right to
freedom of
have.
movement,
We just
isn't it?
need more protection for women, and I think
I agree with that one.
Men are the predators a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to address that, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying by any means that women are not predators towards men, but we just have to look at it's not good enough that just because I'm a woman, I'm at more risk of harm just because I'm a woman.
But do you think that women do need to take precautions though when they are in certain environments and in situations, so that having that self-autonomy to say, look, I know I can't go to a party and get trashed and expect men not to touch me, or men not to try anything, or men not to
1000%.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to say is, let's not normalise that.
No,
So
100%.
where we are right now, yes, you're going to have to take responsibility, but we need to do more work with my next topic, toxic masculinity, in order to close the gap between whether a woman decides... I want women to one day not really have to worry about that, just as much as a man doesn't have to worry about it. A man doesn't walk and think, I'm not going to get too drunk because
he could get robbed, 100%.
Right, he could get robbed. No, I'm not disputing that. Yeah, but
wear watches and chains, he will get taken advantage of.
I get that.
Rolex, Cartiers,
and that's fine.
Railings.
If a woman has got the same fear, I don't know if that's ever going to go anywhere. But her fear is not about I might get robbed. It could be I might get preyed upon sexually.
Raped,
I could get raped. I could get and that's serious far violation. More severe of a violation. And think about the psychological effects of that. Just for being at the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong thing, or maybe sometimes you're not. And there's no way you can blame a woman who gets herself. It's never her fault. No. It's never her fault.
Never be her fault.
It can never be her fault. But even that. That stance has changed. You know, a long time ago it was. Yeah, but what were you wearing? She was
asking for it.
What were you wearing?
Why was she out that late? Why was she by herself?
And understanding 100%. What even the sexual boundaries are as to when consent, and understanding that, and really tightening up on that, and making it just more awareness around it. Now, I want to just point something out. Do you know R. Kelly?
Yeah,
we all know about that. Okay, do you think it had any impact on? Did it change anything socially?
I think so. Probably a lot more women may be more willing to come out with their stories and what maybe have happened. And
it showed the power of cancel culture, by the way.
Yeah, it did actually. Yeah, absolutely. I think,
and I feel like women have really led the charge on that. Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like women, they've done a good job with that.
Yeah,
so I feel like the feminist movement definitely contributed to
helped there.
I'll say the exposure of these kind of deviant behaviours.
I personally don't think it's done enough. I feel like it was more entertainment than it didn't have any. It hasn't changed nothing. The music industry hasn't put any more regulations. There's no more rules. There's nothing to protect women. Hasn't done anything.
That may take
it's time, just entertainment.
But I think that
take time.
No, what I'm saying is that may still take some more time, because there are, maybe there's obviously a lot of stories out there that's been untold, but I think the more that we see on social media, the more that it's, drummed into our brain that we shouldn't keep quiet about something like that, the likelihood of it being changed and a law being put in place and etc. will become higher as the time goes. Unfortunately, it's going to be a slow burner. It's a slow race. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And R. Kelly, being such a high profile that he is, of course, it was going to get a lot of traction, loads. But fundamentally, what women were now seeing is, oh, hold on a minute, like, if this has happened to me, okay, it might be on a smaller scale, but at least now I feel more open to say something. Like, do you remember, I've forgotten her name, Georgia, or is it Georgia or Georgina? Famous woman. She is a reality TV show. I'll get the name and I'll put it somewhere down here.
Yeah.
But basically, she went. She had a sex video out or something like revenge porn.
Oh, revenge porn. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. And she fought this guy on her own, and they're both famous, but only famous.
Oh, is this the Love Island case?
Yeah.
Yes. With Bear. That's the one.
Her name is Georgia. I think it's Georgia. I think her name's Georgia. Yeah.
So, when you think about something like that, she may not have necessarily had that strength had she not maybe seen other people doing it.
I agree.
Well. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think it would.
It's like it's climbing.
It's inspirational to other women.
It is, yeah.
But I feel like there's so much evidence that the music industry, don't forget, this is the one that got exposed, guys. That doesn't mean that all the others that didn't happen. There's so much speculation that there are a lot of influential males in the R&B and rap industry that are doing things of a similar nature. So it's obviously a culture that takes place. There has been nothing politically to change it, and I think that's really sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. But I think with the law, I think they probably go on numbers and data, and perhaps because how do they get to these laws? How do they just say, oh, by the way, we're just going to put the Equality Act in? So you don't think there's been enough numbers or data? No, I don't think so. I think there's not enough people expressing the fact that they've had this experience and actually...
What law would you want to come in? What law would you actually want to come in?
Something to do with particularly around something to protect those in the music industry. So let's say, for instance, when we're talking about these girls were young, okay? So there needs to be something to protect.
Okay, so you're talking about safeguarding now, yeah?
Safeguarding, yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. You're talking about safeguarding now. I feel like there's a lot of people involved when it comes to safeguarding. It doesn't just stop at your producer abusing you.
Yeah.
If you're really young, okay, where are everybody's parents? See, this is the issue I took here with the R. Kelly thing, because I was thinking, you actually have parents.
With the dad,
So I totally understand that, but we're dealing with two sets of irresponsible people. And at the end of the day, children, particularly young girls, are getting abused. So I don't care whether it's parents' fault or whether it's the producer's fault.
No, but because we're trying to see what kind of legislation you'd want to put in place to protect them. There
should be rules and regulation even for the consent age to even go to a studio.
Okay, now we're getting there. Okay, cool.
Very adult environment.
Okay, fine. Okay, so in order for you to record music, in order for you to be left unattended with a producer or a recording, whatever,
there needs to be some type of signature.
There should be a signature between either their parents.
Consent.
Well, they should never be left alone,
and they shouldn't be left alone.
But that will make you think twice. If this legislation is makes both parties think twice.
100%, I agree.
You know, so you've kept a record that this young person is here, and it's not just happening to women; it happens to males as well.
100%.
But I can tell you, from somebody that wanted to become a singer, studios are very toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity. I've been in booths. I've turned around. I've seen a whole line of men just looking at my body whilst I was singing, thinking that's funny.
That's actually crazy.
I've seen mixed lines, but I've never gone to a studio and the guy that was the producer or was involved didn't end up fancying me or tried to. Never. It's never just been business. Even at the higher levels. Even at higher levels, there's always some creepiness going on.
Yeah.
Or some type of
But that's the culture now. That's the culture.
But that's
what
not
needs to change.
That's the bit that needs to change, though. I don't think we should just sit there and say, oh, that's the culture, that's how it is. Because even... We can't keep saying, oh, that's just boys being boys. You know, even from secondary school, I saw boys pin girls down, touch up their skirts, give them feel-ups. And these could have been your boyfriends, your husbands that were doing this. Just it was normalised. These were not bad. These were not bad boys. This was just boys. It's what you do. Boys being boys. No one called them out. This wasn't shock horror. And I spoke to my niece only the other day, goes to the same school. She goes, yeah, that still happens.
Crazy.
But they've been taught, boys being boys. Even men going around impregnating women and just leaving. That's boys being boys. There's no repercussions.
Wait, hold on. How did we get to that part?
I'm just saying. Well, why not? But I'm saying that's where it leads to.
Yeah.
You go from boys to being boys. There's no big deal. This guy just goes around and makes a few babies. That's just men. Everything is just, it's men being men. Oh, it's men. Do you know what I mean? There's no real repercussion for this extremely toxic, horrible behaviour.